You sold it for how much?
180.
180.
Yeah.
Minus the costs.
Yeah.
And you netted
About 80.
$80,000. Ring that victory bell.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. In life, there are peaks and there are valleys. And I remember in 2008 when I was descending from a peak and going into a valley and losing everything off of some decisions that I had made early in my career. I felt absolutely terrible. And then I remember there was somebody had put this quote out, or I had read it somewhere, and I wrote it down, and I want to share it at the beginning of this podcast because I think it's just something to remind us all when, sometimes things are going to be really difficult, or when we're starting something new and we're not great at it yet, and we're really kind of self-conscious and our self-doubt is creeping in. Just remember that where you are is not who you are, okay? Just remember that. Where you are is not who you are. Who you are gets to be built every single day, and the beautiful thing is we get to build that and work on that and take action on it and be around people that are going to support us and cheerlead us and love us and want nothing but the best for us. And I just think it's real important to understand that if you're just starting out, or if you're going through tough times, and this is you found real estate, you found wholesaling real estate as an outlet to really build yourself up financially, but also get rid of your self-doubt that you have in yourself. This podcast is for you because I've got an incredible wholesaler out of Chicago that has just a wonderful story. It's going to inspire so many people. The perseverance, the confidence, the ability to go out there and know that you can accomplish something great is my pleasure. From Chicago, Illinois, Nita Patel. Nita, welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast.
Thank you, Brent, for inviting me today. I really appreciate you and love you. Like, I've been following you for the last 5 years, and being here today, like, I feel amazing.
Well, you're doing amazing things as an entrepreneur. But before we get to that, let's talk about your history for a second here, right? Let's jump right in. You moved here when you were 7.
Yes.
Right? So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so, like, my aunt sponsored us long time ago. It was like a bunch of us that came. It was 30 to 35 people that came. It was like all my uncles, aunts, their kids, my family, right? We all came together.
Yeah.
It was in 1989, and we all lived in one house. It was a multi-unit building, with 3 stories, right? But the third level, someone was already living in, right? So it was just the basement and the first level that we all lived in, and we did that for, I think, almost a year, and then one
How
by
many
one.
people?
It was about 35 people.
In 2 floors.
In 2 floors,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just all living together.
All living together, yeah.
And what, just over the year, people found employment, people found new living situations? Like what, it just disperses from there? You guys all kind of went your own ways?
Yeah, so no one spoke English when we came, right? So they obviously worked labor jobs, right? Or in like factories or restaurants where they didn't require, them to speak English.
Sure.
So one by one, everyone moved out as they found jobs.
Got it. And so it must have been really easy then, growing up in Chicago, 7 years old, not speaking English, living with 30 people.
It was not easy. I was bullied,
Yeah.
right? Because I didn't speak English, and when we came, we didn't have that much money. So, like, I remember when we were going to school, I was given my cousin's clothes, which were like boys' clothes, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I was bullied, and I think I lost, like some respect for myself, because of that,
Sure. So how do you get that back? How do you get the respect for yourself back as you're going through this process? As you're learning English, you're learning, you're living in a completely different country, right?
Yeah.
You've got family around you,
Yes.
right? I mean, how do you start, building yourself up? How do you build the confidence that you have now? Because, guys, right now, Nita's doing incredible things in her market. She's getting deals from calling. She's getting deals from door knocking, which we'll get into because I think you've got a great strategy for door knocking. But how do you build that up to the point where you're confident enough now to be an entrepreneur?
Well, it took a long time, when we came from India, we were all together, right? We would like go on family picnics, do things together, right? Celebrate like holidays and festivities, but it wasn't like that
Right.
after a while, right? Because everyone moved to different cities and states, and we kind of like lost connection there, right? All of us, all the family.
Yeah.
So somewhere like there was a lot of neglect as well, my parents were busy working labor jobs, like they were working 12 to 16 hours, to make things happen, right? Because when you're new to the country, you have to start saving money,
Sure.
right, for other things, and it's not that easy. So like we felt neglected, right? Myself and even my siblings for a long time, and I know like I shut down, for a while, and I think that was passed on. That went on for a long time actually.
Yeah. So when did it end? How does it end? I mean, a lot of people are listening to this that have had a similar experience or are going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or maybe are still reliving parts of their childhood. How do you get past all that?
Well, it takes, I guess, until something happens, right?
Okay.
Like I was probably shut down for a long time, and when like you don't even know, right? When you're depressed and like you feel neglected and you feel you're not worthy, right? So like when I got married, like the last marriage, right? Like my husband used to physically abuse me for the longest time. But I didn't have the courage to leave
Right.
the marriage, right? Probably because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't, respect myself, nor did I have the self-esteem, right? So I think my personal development journey started after I decided to leave that relationship,
Yeah.
right? Because I just had enough.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, I didn't have a good, upbringing. I didn't have a good childhood, and then
Didn't have a good marriage.
didn't have a good marriage. But I don't blame my parents. They did the best that they could with what they had.
Sure.
So I have forgiven them. It took me a long time to forgive them,
Yeah.
but they did the best that they could. They probably didn't receive the love from their parents, and of course they were busy working, right, to
Yeah.
provide for us.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's one of the big things, right? Getting rid of the blame.
Yeah.
Going through that process of forgiveness and release and not blaming, because the
Yeah.
blame is like a weight, right? It's like an
Oh,
anchor
yeah.
that you hold on to, and it's like it's like that. It's like a weighted blanket. It feels pretty good, but it's still heavy on you. You know what I mean? And to shed that off and to get rid of that blame and just look at it and just. What, you just knew that you had opportunities here? You knew you had skills? You knew that you could do something special? Like, did you read something? Did somebody come into your life? Like, how do you that's a total different path that you were on.
yeah, I think
So
I
you get a
just
divorce and you start personal development?
Yeah, I think I just had enough. Like I was just tired of, feeling that way.
Sure.
I was just like, there has to be something better for me.
Yep.
And I always knew inside of me that, like I have something, like I have the courage to do something, right? So like it was, of course, it was not that easy. I had to forgive people. I had to forgive my parents, right? I had to forgive my ex-husband. It was weighing me down for a long time, like you said, earlier. You have to forgive people. If you don't forgive people, it's just gonna weigh you down.
So then what do you do for personal development? Are you reading books? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you watching YouTube? Are you going to groups? Is there counselors? Is there therapy? Is there psychology? Like, what do you do then? How do you make that transition from going down this path of, okay, there was blame for a long time, now I've released that, and that's done. There's a lot of forgiveness over here, but that's one side. The whole other side
Yeah.
is producing, feeling that you have something of value to provide the marketplace and the community and the world.
Yeah.
That's where us entrepreneurs, that's where we thrive. You know what I mean? We're just built differently. We want to go and build something that can really help out people, and for that we get rewarded by income. So you've got all this work here, and okay, we've got the forgiveness. How do you go down I can go out there and start taking action and start solving people's problems? What do you start doing? What actions did you start doing that were different than
Yeah.
your previous life?
Yeah, so it didn't happen overnight.
Sure.
Actually, it took me long 6 years to
Okay.
heal. Okay.
Yep.
So after I had left the marriage, before I started a new job because I left the job that I had before of a relationship manager with Citibank, right? Because I wasn't in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't keep my focus. So I quit cold turkey, right? But then my credit cards were shut down after that. And I was left with no money, no place to go. So I
Yeah.
had to take on any job, right? So I started a accounting job at that time where I didn't make that much money,
Sure.
but it was giving me some money, right? So I worked at that accounting job for a few months, and then along the way, I met my current husband, which you met,
Yeah.
a few months ago,
Yeah.
right? And he supported me a lot, right? And he said I can leave this accounting job if I want and pursue whatever I would like, right? But there was a guy from India that I was working with.
Yeah.
And every day he used to tell me how lucky I am to be in America, and he used to ask me if I know anyone that would marry him so he can come here.
Sure.
And I asked myself, like, this, like, what have I done? I've been in America for so many years. What have I done?
Yeah.
Here's this guy who keeps asking me every day, like about America and how great it is and how he would like to come here, And because of that, I left.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to do something with my life. What am I doing here at a desk job, like, which I hate? I hated it.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person that can just sit for 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
That's not me. So because of that guy, I left. Right.
Yeah.
And I also knew I wanted to do something different. So my husband supported me. I had left that job, and then I started just researching online on things that I can do, and that's when I came across real estate.
Yeah.
I just read, that most of the millionaires are made in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is my opportunity to, do something.
Sure.
And I started going to different seminars, and then I started reading books,
Yep.
like a lot of successful people, right? And then one of the things that I read in the books was, you have to be grounded, you have to be calm, and you have to keep your focus. And how do you do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people talked about meditating. So I started looking for like meditation centers in the area that we lived in at that time. We were in Arlington Heights, Illinois, and I
Yeah.
came across a center called Body and Brain. I started that about 6 years ago, right? And ever since then, there's no looking back. Like,
Awesome.
it's helped me tremendously, not just in business, but it has helped me heal all the traumas
Sure.
that we were talking about, like from childhood, from the last marriage, right? Like, I just can't tell you how much it has helped
Body
me.
and
It's
Brain.
helped- Body and Brain Yoga Center. Yeah.
Shout out there, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And so you said you found real estate. So when I hear that, I usually think one of two things. You go to try to build a rental portfolio, or you do flips.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, somewhere down the line, you find out what wholesaling is. Somewhere down the line, it kind of squeaks through, and you either meet a wholesaler or that at a property, or you find somebody at a meetup group that's giving everybody else their deals, and you're like, wait a second, what is this? What is this wacky business, right? So, and really, that's the three paths. Just remember this: as a real estate entrepreneur, you're either buying and holding, you're buying and flipping, or you're finding the opportunity and assigning the opportunity to somebody else that's either going to hold it or flip it. So which path did you go down first?
So, like I mentioned, we started, going to different seminars, and then we came across Andrew Holmes in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they're great. Andrew and his partner, they, like most of our private lenders and a lot of resources that we use today are from their group, right? But I wanted to learn about wholesaling, and like,
Yeah, but I know how you found out about wholesaling.
Yeah. So there was just a lot of interest, right? And I went to go see one house. I think it was like the third or the fourth house, when I started, and it was through a wholesaler. And I remember, like, I had called him because there was a lot of stuff in the house, and I just called to ask him, like, hey, there's a lot of stuff in the house. How do I get in? there's no way of me to get in. How am I going to look at the house,
Yeah.
right? And he was just so rude to me, Like, he was like, oh, find a way, to get in. Like,
Yeah.
these kind of houses are like this, and like,
No customer service.
no customer service. Like, I left feeling miserable,
Right.
And I told myself, like, I am going to be in his position. I'm going to learn how to find these kind of deals. Right.
Yeah.
And I just like dug into it. I was listening to your videos, like at that time I didn't know, Pace Morby, but a lot of your videos, and I started reading books on wholesaling. And that's how I learned. Like, I told myself, I'm going to learn this.
Yeah.
I'm going to find these kind of deals, and at that time we didn't have that much money. We started with $5,000. That's
Sure.
all we had.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to do some wholesale deals, put some money aside. Right. And then also use, some money for personal development.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So what did you do first for lead generation, right? Because 3 parts of the business, whatever path you want to go down, buy and hold, fix and flip, or assign, there's 3 parts: lead generation, converting those leads into an approved agreement, and then exit strategy. So what did you do for lead generation when you started?
I was going to a lot of meetups,
Okay.
right? And at one of the meetups, I heard someone talk about like upcoming auctions, like properties that are about to go to auction, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a good way of, getting the deals, Then I just started researching online, started watching your videos on pre-foreclosures, and then there's a software in Chicago. It's like a lead source, right?
Yeah.
It's like PropStream. It's called Chicago Deal Vault,
Okay.
right? And I came across that. It has like pre-foreclosures, probates, and upcoming auction leads and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So I just like dug into it. I'm like, okay, someone is talking about like how great these upcoming auction leads are, right? And of course, I didn't have the courage to go to that person and ask, because it seemed like that was their secret, because when they were talking about it at the meetup, they didn't really go in detail about it, right? They just like kind of mysterious. There's, there's no secrets, right? We all know that, right?
Yeah.
So like I just I got that software, and I just like started calling foreclosure attorneys. I started like just talking to homeowners, like I just went all in, like, let's just start talking to people. Even though I don't know everything, let's just start talking to people.
Right.
And see like what happens, right? Like you always say, right? Like put yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the situation.
Conversations and
yeah,
offers.
have conversations,
Yep.
Like you can't wait until you have all the information.
Right.
You're not going to have all the information. I still don't have all the information, right?
Yep.
Still don't have all the knowledge.
So do you remember your first deal?
So the first deal was a rental, right? Which was through the MLS.
Okay.
Right? But that was like my only deal from the MLS. After that, they've all been off-market deals.
Okay.
So my first off-market deal was in Streamwood, Illinois.
Yep.
And I tried calling the homeowner. I couldn't.
Pre-foreclosure?
It was a property that was about to go to auction. It was like a month away from auction,
Yeah.
and I could not get hold of the homeowner. Right? I think I just didn't have the right number. A lot of times we don't have accurate numbers, right?
Yeah.
And then I tried like looking for their relatives, and I couldn't find any relatives because he had no kids, right? He was not married. He didn't have a spouse. He didn't have that many relatives. I'm like, why don't I just go door knock? Why don't I just go drive, to the house and see what's going on? It was a townhouse like in a corner, right? And like I couldn't find it with the GPS, and I was like, you know what? Let me just park somewhere and then just walk to the house.
Yeah.
Right? It took me like 45 minutes to find the house.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm glad I did not give up, because that was a great deal. And no
Well,
one
imagine
talked
everybody
to him.
else. Yeah.
I know.
Nobody else probably talked to him, because nobody's going to, go through the phone numbers don't work, I'll just move on to the next.
Right.
And then if they did want to try to door knock, where's the property? Oh,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to do this. So you just stuck to it.
Yeah.
And you got the deal.
I got the deal, yeah.
Just door knocking.
Just door knocking,
Oh, my
yeah. And he was so glad that, I went to the house, because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He didn't even know he can sell the house before it goes to auction.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yep.
we bought it for $60,000, put in about $25,000, and it was worth like $210 at that time.
Awesome.
Now it's worth probably more, like $240 or something like that.
You still own it?
We still own it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many how many deals have you done from door knocking? Do you have an idea?
From door knocking, a lot. Probably about 30.
30 deals.
Yeah.
From just going to people's doors.
Yeah.
All pre-foreclosures?
All pre-foreclosures and probates where the homeowners have passed away.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How are you getting your probates and inherited properties?
From the same software that I'm telling you about.
Chicago Deal Vault?
Yeah, yeah. And then like in the middle, I also use PropStream. But
Yeah.
the software, it's based in Chicago, you know. Or a lot of times I just get the leads from the county websites.
Yeah.
I mean,
So do you have a real estate license?
I don't. My husband does.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have to have one to wholesale in Illinois,
Right.
right? More than you can do one, I think, but you can't do two. Maybe you can't even do one. The title companies will probably not allow it unless you have a license. So everything runs through your partner, which is your husband.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's the primary. He's
It
the
is-
president of the company. I'm
It
the
is
secretary.
wild, Nina. I am telling you, the states that require licenses are wide open, in
Yeah.
my opinion,
Yeah.
compared to the areas that don't. Because everybody goes, "Oh, there's like so much going on here. I don't want to get licensed." Find somebody in those markets that you can partner with that has a license and run everything through them and be
Yeah.
able to do those deals.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways you can do this.
Yeah,
you can even
close
double
on
close.
transactional funding,
Right.
double closing, all
Yeah.
those things. Awesome.
If someone wants to do something, right, they're gonna figure it out.
So, real quick, 30 deals door knocking. How much income do you think that equates to?
So when I first started doing it, my deals were small,
Sure.
like about $5,000 to $10,000.
Okay.
But now they're like at least $17,000 to $20,000. Like I don't
Yes.
even go after the ones that are 5 to
Yeah.
7, unless if like the whole team is involved, right?
Yeah.
I want everyone to get paid, right?
Yep.
Even if I'm making less, I'm okay with it as long as everyone gets paid. But I don't like to go after the smaller deals
Sure.
anymore. You know, those smaller deals are like a lot of work, like more work than the bigger deals.
We do massive
sometimes.
deals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the Rhino tribe does massive deals. That is the goal, to go out there and find really the best opportunities
Yeah.
and provide the best value to those property owners and to the cash buyers. That's the only way that we can increase our income per deal is by providing more value.
Right.
And so I would put it probably $500,000 in 30 deals just from going out there and door knocking, right?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Like last year was our biggest, year.
And what was last year?
Last year we made about 750, but we also did some flips last year.
750,000
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing this?
6 years, but the first 3 years were slow.
You're
we were only
incredible.
doing like 3 to 5 deals
Sure.
a year, but it was also the mindset that I had to work on.
Is that the change?
The
Was it
mind-
just the mindset that changed?
Mindset and then healing internally.
Right.
Yeah, that helped.
And then, boom, your income
Yeah.
explodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the most that you made at your relationship manager job?
$90,000.
Right.
Never made more than $90,000
And
in
last
my
year
life.
you did 750,000.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, incredible.
Yeah.
Well, let's break down a deal. Let's put you in the hot seat a little bit. I mean, I just love the journey we just went on. I really do. I know your story and I
Yeah.
know you and I love you and we've spent time together. But just going through all of that to see this other side, to be able to see how powerful you are as an entrepreneur and building something special, and you're still in it and you're still excited about doing these deals, and you're not overcomplicating everything. We have these things. If you're just listening to this, make sure that you watch this interview, this podcast conversation on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel, because this is my CRM. What's yours?
This.
Right.
I have gone through like 10 of these.
It's a notebook.
Yeah. I've
It's a
gone through
notebook.
like I said, the first few years I struggled with my mindset, right?
Sure.
But after that, this is all I've been using. We just started setting up systems after we attended your round table, right?
Yeah.
A few months ago, but
Yep.
still using this.
Incredible.
It works. Like this is how I made all the money.
Yeah.
You don't have to
But
complicate
you can't
it.
stay organized just writing notes. Guys, she's doing $750,000 a year. Okay? Nita's doing $750,000 a year using notebooks. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't be distracted by what you think is productive when you're just being busy.
Yeah.
You got to be, there's a big difference between being productive and being busy. And busy work is just creative avoidance that we use to not go out there and have conversations and make offers.
Yeah, like I started, setting up the systems. I think it was about like beginning of last year.
Yeah.
But it was just taking away my time, and my focus.
Yep.
And like I have to be like, I don't know, it's like I'm so passionate about it, and it's just like I need to be getting deals all the time, and it was like 4 months, and then by the time you know it, like you've already spent like $10,000-$15,000 on like VAs,
Yep.
like on all the softwares add up. I mean, of course, if I had probably done it for 6 months, it would have worked. But then I'm like, I need to go back to what's working, right? Until I have made the first million, like what you talk about, right?
That's it.
On YouTube, like,
Yeah.
I was like, let me just go back, and then I'll worry about the systems later.
Yeah.
Right? And now we're starting to, like, set up all the systems.
Love it. Let's break down a deal. Let's break it down from start to finish. You have a deal you want to break down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like we can talk about like the wholesale.
Yeah.
My biggest wholesale deal where I made $80,000.
Let's go.
Okay?
Well, you just gave up the goose already. It's all right. Well, still ring the bell. But okay, how did you find the deal?
So it was about to go to auction.
Okay.
And
Pre-foreclosure.
It was a pre-foreclosure.
Got it.
And it was a probate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So most of my deals are like that. There's multiple pain points.
Sure.
So this one, it was in a city called Elgin, Illinois, right?
Yeah.
And I could not. I knew the homeowner passed away because I had found their obituary online, right? But I could not find any of the heirs because the lady did not get married. She had a boyfriend, right? But the boyfriend cannot sell the house to me legally,
Sure.
right? And
Yeah.
then she had no kids, right? So I had to like hire someone to find an heir. So I hired a genealogist,
Okay.
okay? And the genealogist found a nephew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tried finding, someone myself. Like I use People Looker. It gives you like all the heirs information.
Peoplelooker.com.
Peoplelooker.com, yeah.
And what do? You just put in somebody's name and address?
Yeah, you can search by address. You can search by the name. I had found the boyfriend. I called the boyfriend, but the boyfriend didn't want to help me out.
Sure.
The boyfriend said, hey, look, we were not legally married. There's nothing that I can do. I can't sell the house to you. So, like, I had asked, like, well, can you tell me if she had any relatives,
Yeah.
that would be able to help me? But he didn't want to be involved at
Right.
all, right?
Right.
So this genealogist found a nephew.
Mm-hmm.
he was the only heir.
Wow.
Yeah. And
This
he
is
was
awesome.
able to sell
I've never
the
even
house.
thought about doing getting a genealogist. I've always used like private detectives,
Yeah.
And so genealogists, this is great. What did it cost?
Not much. Like I think I paid him $150. It's
Amazing.
Genealogist in
How'd you find
Florida.
him?
Just from one of the videos that I watched on YouTube.
Yeah.
They were talking about how like you can hire a genealogist who can help you find the heirs, and I just
So what, you just Googled genealogist?
yeah, there's two that I work with in Illinois, and then there's one in Florida that I work with who's amazing, and he has helped me with find heirs for a lot of my
Yeah.
deals.
How can we use them?
I can give you guys his number. It's in my phone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an older man. He loves like all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He'll like work on it for hours for you.
Good. Guys, we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put his information in the
Okay.
show notes because I won't make you get up and grab your phone right now, but we'll put it in the show notes, so definitely check that out. Awesome. And
Yeah.
so you found the nephew.
I found the nephew. I contacted the nephew, and the nephew, of course, like they didn't have a good relationship. The homeowner that passed away and him, they didn't have a good relationship, but they talked, and
Sure.
he knew she passed away about 2 years ago, and like I said, hey, like you as the heir can sell the house to us. You're the only heir. Right, and we don't even have to go through a full probate. We can just do what's called the affidavit of heirship.
Sure.
Right, and he didn't believe it, just like a lot of people.
Of course, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a movie, all of a sudden your rich aunt or uncle or, this distant relative,
Yeah.
You inherit this, pile of money type of thing. I mean, it sounds like
a scam.
Yeah. A scam or just too good to be true for sure.
Too good to be true, yeah. And he was just like, no, this is a scam. This can't be true. I'm like, look, I can introduce you to my attorney.
Yep.
I can have, someone call you from the title company and all that. You can go on my website, But everyone likes money, right? And he got on board.
Sure.
I think I had like my title company reach out to him and, just explain to him what the process would be and all that. And we got it done in like 2 weeks.
No.
Yeah, the genealogist got all the birth certificates, whatever birth certificate. I mean, the death certificates that we needed.
And done.
And done, yeah.
And what was the document? Affidavit of what?
Affidavit of heirship. I know you guys in Arizona have to go through the entire probate, right? But in Illinois, you don't. And not that many people know that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, what was the condition of this property?
The condition was decent. She passed away 2 years ago. It was not that bad.
Nobody was living in it?
No one was living in it.
It was just like she didn't have a mortgage. Like, obviously property taxes aren't getting paid.
Yeah.
Right? There's no utilities on.
Yeah.
So it's just a vacant house just sitting there.
It was just a vacant house just sitting there. The boyfriend was living in it, maybe for like a few months after she passed away. But he thought that it already went to auction 2 years before. But because of COVID, like so many things have been backed up. The counties are backed up, right? So these are the kind of deals that like people don't go after, right?
Right.
So yeah, it was vacant for 2 years, decent condition, not that bad, in a good area.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, what did you lock it up for?
Locked it up for about $90,000.
$90,000. How much work did it need? Make it beautiful.
To make it beautiful, about $45,000. It was like a townhouse.
And what does it sell for fixed up?
Fixed up, I think about $270.
Okay. And you sold it for how much?
$180.
$180.
Yeah.
Minus the costs.
Yeah.
And you netted?
About $80.
$80,000. Ring that victory bell.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Solving problems. I mean, listen.
That's it.
If you look at the 2020 U.S. Census, 11 million single-family properties have been vacant for over a year.
Yeah.
11 million. That's crazy. That is such a huge amount, and everybody's talking about a shortage of housing. I mean, we're the ones that are going out there doing this investigative work to find these opportunities and to put these properties back into the market, get people living in these things. It's wildly rewarding. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity out there.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was talking to Caroline yesterday, and she was asking me about probates.
Yeah.
And I said, go after the ones that are older probates, because no one goes after those. People go after, the probates like from the last 6 months, right? Who goes after the ones that are like a year, 2 years, 3 years old? Not that many people.
Nope.
Right? So you want to go after the ones that a lot of people don't go after.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So give some advice for people starting out. Give some advice for people that are growing. What would you say to somebody that was like, hey, I need to get a deal in my next 30 days? And then I'll give you a follow-up question after that.
Yeah, you know what? Look, when I started, I only had $5,000, not that much money. And I didn't have, system set up. Like, I've been using this notebook. I listened to your free videos.
Yeah.
I didn't even sign up, for your mentorship until, few months ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Honestly, I did not sign up for, other things. Maybe, few trainings that I did in Chicago, here and there. But other than that, it's really just from watching videos, right? Yeah. And cold calling. It doesn't cost money to cold call, to text, right? And this People Looker software that I use, it's $20 or $30 a month. It's not that much, right?
Yep.
So if someone wants to make it happen, if someone wants to get a deal in the first 30 days, it's so possible. Find good leads, right, that have multiple pain points, right, that are pre-foreclosures and in the probate, right, or pre-foreclosure and vacant, right? You want to go after those. You want to go after the deals that a lot of people don't go after, right? And just be consistent, keep your focus, right? Yeah, go to all these meetups and things that you want to, but eventually you're going to have to stop doing all of that,
Yep.
right? And just keep your focus. It's all about consistency,
Yep.
right? There's no secret sauce. You and I both know that, right? I mean, it's just like, just pick one thing,
Yeah.
right? And just go after it. Don't try to do too many things, because if you try to do too many things, you're not going to be able to keep your focus, which I tried doing in the beginning, you know, and I had to tell myself, no, I need to do what's working for me.
Yeah.
These kind of deals are working for me, so this is what I'm going to do. And I've been doing the same kind of deals for the last 3 years.
Yeah. And when you're going out and you're door knocking, are you going by yourself?
Yeah, I'm going by myself. Sometimes I take my kids. No.
You're just out there solving problems.
Yeah,
trying to talk to the property owner.
there's nothing to be scared about. Like, a lot of these homeowners actually, they're grateful that someone has showed up.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have buried their heads in the sand, right? A lot of them, they don't even pick up their calls. They don't, open their mail, right?
Yep.
They don't even want to look at their phone, because they have other creditors calling them, right? But here you are, going in front of them. Some may not like it, but most of them are truly grateful that you showed up to help them.
Sure.
Right? And we're in the problem-solving business, right? Like, you have to show empathy, right? I've been through a lot, so, like, it's easy for me to do that, right?
Sure.
But any of us can be in this situation. My husband had lost his job 3 years ago. Right? We almost ran out of money. We could have been in the same situation, right?
Yep.
We could have lost our house.
Yep.
So just know that, hey, any minute, any day, we can be in a similar situation, right? So do the best that you can. There's so many resources out there. If you don't know, ask people.
Yep.
Like, go to your meetups, which are free, right? And ask people. Listen to your videos.
Yeah.
Like, I've learned so much just from watching your videos whenever I was stuck, like how to overcome an objection, what to say when you go door knock, right? I found a video of you and Pace on pre-foreclosures where you talk about, like, how to approach them. That video has helped me tremendously, And what did I pay? Nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's time and then it's implementation. That's what you pay.
Yeah.
That's the cost. The cost is going out there and having the courage to implement.
Yeah. But going back to what you were asking, no, door knocking is not scary. I don't know why a lot of people don't feel comfortable. I think it's just like how people don't feel comfortable talking on the phone or talking to strangers,
Yep.
But if you don't do it, how are you going to know? You know, I challenge some of you, like, just go to a few houses, and, like, after knocking on 20 doors, you're going to get comfortable.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be scared about.
Love it. How can people get a hold of you? How can people reach out to you? How can people say, thank you for your story, or say, hey, let's do some business together?
Yeah, they can reach me on my website, which is nitabuysHouses.com.
Awesome.
Or they can call me at 630-489-8779.
Say it again.
630-489-8779.
Incredible. Guys, reach out, especially if you are in Illinois, in the Chicago area. Meet Nita. She's absolutely incredible. Her husband's incredible. The kids are incredible. So definitely get in with this family and connect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on here. Thank you for sharing your story. And what an inspiration. You know what I mean? There's the old trope that, if this person can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not to say that you fit that mold perfectly, because I think that there's always been that, like, that big time winning entrepreneur inside you.
Yeah.
You just needed the right path to go down, and you found it. And you did absolutely incredible. But you've inspired a lot of people.
Yeah, and I hope my story inspires other people, like whenever I was stuck, or needed some motivation or inspiration, I would listen to your videos and I would be like, I got to get it. And if that person can do it, I can do it,
Good.
So I hope my story, inspires other people.
100%. Thank you for being on here.
Thank you so much, Brent.
And that is it, guys. If you are interested in joining the Rhino Tribe with Nita as part of it, and then joining all of us, proactive, go-giving, optimistic, powerful real estate wholesalers and entrepreneurs. Go to wholesalinginc.com. Check out what it's all about. Wholesalinginc.com. Check out what it's all about. Check out the testimonials. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call, and we look forward to embracing you with open arms into the Rhino Tribe. And that's it. My name is Brent Daniels. I didn't introduce myself until now, Mr. TTP, and I will close this out as I always do, encouraging you to go out there and talk to people. Till next time, guys. Love you. See ya.